Robert, thank you for guiding some of our energies today. One of the things you said in your talk this morning was around understanding where our energies were at the beginning, because it's about identity and where we fit. Everyone by default got into a very high heart rate was going, blood pressure was up, and you recognized that and brought it down. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that for us, because it was a very special moment.
By default, sometimes when we ko waio, who am I, and especially Maori and Moana Kiwa tangata, we are never talking about ourselves alone. When we give whakapapa, that is everyone. And when we talk, if we have children, we're thinking of our children as well, so as to get it right. And whakapapa most times it's a proud thing, it's a rangatiratanga thing. I come from a line of chiefs. So when most of us start off, we talk about te rangatira o te waka, me hana mai I tēnei rohe o tēnei whenua, who was the chief of the waka I travelled on. And for some people, they don't know. And they get nervous. So there's a couple of different energies happening here. And it can, that's why it's so important to know who you are. Because for some get very nervous because they can't speak it in the reo or where they come from. So there's all that energy going on. But then those who do know, once they bring their waka and their tupuna, so they're not standing alone then, and behind them is this wairua of their tupuna, because we've spoken their name. And nei te tangata, Hotiroa te tangata, as soon as I've called on his name and said, Hotiroa is my chief here, he has then come into the room. O Tainui te waka, Tainui has just arrived, because I've called my waka into this place. Hey. O taupiri te maunga tapu, o taupiri is my maunga where all my, when I use the word tapu, that is the amount of where all my loved ones are buried. He tapu area to go to. They have just acknowledged them and brought them into the room. Waikato te awa, e rere nei. Nah, the whole of the Waikato River I'm connected to. O Ngāti Tipa te hapu, now for so many years down, our hapu are growing dramatically. I have brought them all into the room. My marae, I then go to my marae, I have brought them into the room. So therefore, the energy within the room is packed. Our room is packed. And the wairua, everybody trying to fit in there, who sends where and everything else, that's going on. Anei te tikanga, that's the tikanga te kaua of he whakapapa. We brought everybody we know. And that is the same for our whānau from around the Pacific when they come. And they stand up and they say they are Hamoa, they are Tongan, Ane. That's who they bring with them. So then we've got in the room all this wairua, all our tupuna in the room with us. So boom, that's who's here. Okay, now you and I need to settle down, sit down and be focused on the work, because sometimes our heart can be a distracted thing. The wairua can be distracted. I'm still up here. I'm still listening to the whakapapa of this one, that one. Now our focus needs to be on our outcomes of us coming together. And that's why I got up. Ko te karakia ki te whakarite ki te wairua, to send our wairua back. So what I got up and done there is I sent our wairua back to settle back on the maunga, our wairua back to allow the river to flow. He rere nei, I've gone and then sent back the waka to sit still. The karakia, part of the karakia I used was around when Hotiroa came into the manuka nuka and the seas were rough and things were up and down, the wairua spread was blowing everywhere, called upon Taikihu to have a karakia to settle everything down, and so that the tainui waka could arrive safely into the manuka nuka. Ki te manuka nuka o Hotiroa e tēnei. Anei, the karakia, that was the part of the karakia I did, was to settle our wairua back down and so that we could sit and enter into the space.
Mm.
So, when some people talk about Pākehā, our treaty partners talk about, and I heard National talking about it, doing things, where's the outcome in karakia and whatnot? That's the outcome.
Mm.
He wairua pai. He wairua whakarongo, he titiro. It is our belief for thousands of years, hundreds of years, that by this practice sharpens our ears, sharpens our eyes into when we're ready to mahi, and gives us a real mātauranga way of thinking. We start to hold knowledge and we start to share knowledge. But we can't do that when all the wrong wairua is all in the room and everything else is going on. You can't hold it because you're taken away on that.
And I think it's so needed to have that conversation, because we're talking about identity. We're talking about people who are not sure where they fit.
Aye.
And we're in that room talking about words like diversity and inclusion. And from what you're saying, those can only happen if you have properly acknowledged the past, your family.
Yes.
And from when you were talking, I feel like it allows you to sit in a space and just be in that space.
Aye. And one of the greatest things we have as Māori, and a lot of other people have, they call it hospitality and stuff. But for us, it's manaakitanga. It's not just a word, it's something. Manaaki te tangata. Manaaki is just a word on its own. It means care. It means, how does one put it? I'll be respectful. Actually, I don't like the way you look, but I'll be respectful by not saying it. Something like that, That's manaaki. I'll hold my word. I'll hold my thing. But manaaki te tangata is actually, I'll get up and make you a cup of tea. I welcome you to my sacred space, my private space. That's manaaki te tangata. That's manaakitanga. That's you then showing, actually activating. Without the tanga, it is just a word. So, manaakitanga is allowing someone, anei te ahika I tēnei whenua. I'm saying, I am the ahika here. This is my mountain, this is my place, this is my whenua that I whakapapa to, born into, first arrive, and I still keep the fire spinning. But I welcome all of you here. And you as your whole self, you as your whole whakapapa, I welcome you here to participate in this kōrero. And I mentioned about, and I'm saying, I give you the right to come and speak your language, speak your reo, speak your mind, share your mātauranga as I share mine in this space. So that's the, my he taku whakaaro. That's how I feel it is, and my obligation as mana whenua, ahika of this place. That's why I spoke in that manner, and to share that, because others don't have that, or they do, and then it's described in a different manner or way. Yeah.
Robert, I guess my final question is, if a lot of talking is still happening in that room. For people who aren't here today and will see pictures and videos and even these little podcasts, can you paint a picture of what you felt was happening in that space? This morning, with everyone sharing, it was people on different parts of their journeys, and learning about relearning things and trying to find little things to celebrate, even when there doesn't seem like much to celebrate. Is there a picture you could paint? Just
how do we put this one about relationships? Relationships, because that's part of the whakapapa panaungatanga. When one talks inside the room, one of the main parts, so we go to pōhiri. One of the most main aspects of a pōhiri is to acknowledge one another's losses, grievances. We acknowledge the passing that one another have been endured to. Those who have recently passed, the mamae we carry. So that's in the room, the mamae we carry. the kōrero from those who have passed on, their endeavours to us to do this, to do that, to make things different. Whether they died from unwellness within the hospital care, whether they passed away walking the land trying to make a difference to our whenua, there's all of that stuff in there. And what I see in there was about us coming together to look together for solution going forward. Take those wins, stand on those, be revived from those wins, pat yourself on the back for those wins, acknowledge those who you have taken along, because along the journey you have had so many who are disconnected or who don't understand. It's not their fault, it's not their thing, but you have an opportunity or a platform here to make a difference. This is a platform to make a difference. This is a platform to say, to have a tool to say to the modern day Pākehā, and I mean Pākehā by the other treaty partner, the Crown, to say to them and everyone else that came with them on their waka and afterwards with them, is that there's an understanding that when Te Tiriti was signed, this is what it meant. And only I can tell you the unchanged document and what it means to me, because it's signed by my tupuna, my people, and their understanding. And therefore, this is what it means to me. Come and sit in my shoe, walk with me, and I'll explain to you what it means and what it's happening. And at the same time, share your mātauranga with me, because then, only then, will you know what is needed. Instead of suppressing what you want, what you have, what you need, more or less, what you need for yourself, or one I'm talking about, whereas Māori has never been a thought of one, and he te whakapapa. If you ever want anything done, you go and get a Māori. And if you really want something done, you get a Māori who is already busy in a lot of stuff. One who says, I'm too busy. Oh yeah, you're the right one. And more to the thing of that is that why? We're obligated to our family, obligated to our marae, we're obligated to our hapu, to our iwi. That's what we are, the obligation of it. So when we're thinking about solution-driven, and that's why we're here for, to look for some solutions that benefit all of that from the ground up. From the mokopuna who's still waiting to be born, to the karahuas who have passed on, who are looking back over to us. That is our cycle, and that happens through that whakapapa and whatnot. So what's the solutions here? It's relationships. It's the knowledge of the taonga tuku iho, the mātauranga that we have that sits within the kete, and those who come with their knowledge to fill this kete up. Our kete should be one of healthiness, one of outcomes, one of solutions. That's what I see this. And hopefully that's the kōrero that's still going on inside the room.
Absolutely.
And the very many resource that's within there. And it's not a resource or something actual, it's a resource that is actually a mātauranga. So it's important to have cleared, put wairua in its right place. No such thing as a bad wairua. It's just a wairua of emplacement. And when we place those in the right place, we will receive all the right things that we got now.
Beautiful.
So acknowledging even those who see, to bring together the many voices to kōrero into the space. Then also to acknowledge the lifting of those things and put them into action going forward. So,
we just want to say thank you a couple ways. Say thank you for doing this recording, but thank you also for helping those of us who are not sure where they fit to allow us to stand next to you, because I really felt like I fit when I stood next to you today, and you guided that energy, but now it's about finding my path and using today to do that. So kia ora, thank you.
Nami.